Hello, officials, and welcome to another week of film review for the Wyoming High School Activities Association. This is Tyler Spear, your state coordinator of football officials. Today, we're going to start with a funny one, and then we're going to go through a succession of plays that I found on a film, and it just was too good to not run these plays in order because it covers a lot of ground for us. It helps us with our thinking play to play, down to down, different things that maybe when you take one play and isolate it, we think about it in one way, but when you're in the thick of it, downs in succession, maybe it'll frame our mindset a little differently here. Once again, thanks to these officials and the crew for letting me snag their film. Keep it coming, keep the inquiries coming. It's been just a great year so far. But as promised, we're going to get started with one that'll make us laugh a little bit. Thanks to a colleague of mine here in Laramie that sent this one to me. But let's go ahead and get started. And so we found this one on Insta, and this comes from our neighbors in Nebraska. Back judges, this is why you don't set up shop in the end zone. Let's see if I'll let it play one more time here. And you can find this on Insta. Again, this is why you don't set up shop in the middle of the end zone. Kind of looks like we need the little button that says, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. So hopefully you had a good laugh. And most importantly, don't be that guy. All right, here we go. We'll get rid of that one here and get started on the next one here. Just a second while I get set up. Okay, here we go. Go ahead and get started here. And this is what we're starting with here. You'll see is a kick play. We have let's call it 4th and 10. And what I want you to watch on this punt, good roll of the wrist there by the umpire. We got teams counting. But what I want you to look at is actually going to be on the back end of this play. So everything looks nice and legal here. I will note, just so that you can see it, my drawing tool, we have ourselves a guardian cap right here. Again, no issues on that, but when you look at what they look like, they do definitely stand out. They're the different color and whatnot. So just no issues, but obviously it draws your attention. The formation is good. And here we go. So we got a pretty short punch here. You can see the short kick motion that he's going to kick it short and the ball rolls. It bounces at the 20. But this is what I want you to see. In this situation, officials, I'm backing it up just a little bit. In this situation, officials, there's no reason why in any imagination that we should be setting up in the end zone like that. I mean, there's just no reason. And as you can see, I'm going to back it up to where the snap occurs here. Look at what happens on the money line here on this play. Umpire quit watching the ball. Wings are moving down like they should, but look at this. Get up on the goal. We don't even ever set up on the goal line on this play, folks. So if I back it up, we'll slow it down a little more. When this kind of stuff occurs, there is only one place that we need to be, and that is on the money line. And truly, as this ball comes in, we're never on the money line. And that just looks not the part. It'd be so much easier if you just set up on the goal line, keep yourself wide on the chain side there, and then just take that half a step into the field of play, drop your beanbag, and shut the clock down. It just would look so much smoother, and it saves you so many steps. So just something to keep in mind here. The other thing I just want to highlight briefly, I touched on it, was the wing mechanics here. Very good. The snap goes. LJ leaves a little later than he needs to, but that's okay. Watches the ball. Don't need to do that. The H trails. We're good with that. The U comes in to take care of those guys. Excellent job by the umpire there. Support not throwing on that. So this punt was covered pretty darn well, all things considered, other than watching the football a little bit. But back judges, this is exactly why we want to be on the money line in this situation. So now we finish this punt. And as you can see, we're setting up on the half-yard line. And so when we go to that next play here, we're 1st and 10 from the half-yard line. And this crew gets ready to go. I have to really appreciate this film. There's tons of dead ball in here, which is good. So watching this film, all right, the snap is getting close to occurring. So what's in our mind here? 1st and 10 from the half-yard line. We should be thinking reverse goal line. The R is where he needs to be on the end line. Wings in this situation, remember, we're working to the goal line and then officiating out. A little bit unique here, though, because you're really on the half-yard line. Can probably just, I think this guy on the top here actually might even just be on the goal line. And that's okay because that, I mean, literally that needs to be covered. And I think he does a good job here. So sorry for stopping that midstream here. But as we go, you all know what they're going to run. He comes up in sneak. They're going to sneak the ball and just try and create a little breathing room. Obviously, I think a good job by this crew, but just remembering reverse goal line mechanics. You'll see the ref stopping the clock. The defense is banging timeouts because if you look down at the bottom, we're under 2 minutes in the second quarter, trying to get the ball back, that type of thing. So all this to say, 1st and 10, we're right there. Good to just be where we need to be covering that goal line. Now, if we go to the next play, and excuse me for the skipping because there was some dead ball time in between, we're now on the next play. I want to make sure my play numbers are good. We're now on this next play and coming out of a timeout. We're now 2nd and a little bit longer, but we're on the 4, right? And so we are still in reverse goal line here. And so let's watch our wings and we're mindful of this. Obviously, there's a little more room to breathe. The R is where he needs to be once again. We let this play go. And look at our top wing there. We really can't tell too much on the bottom wing because he gets kind of chopped off here. But this right here, look at this clean snap. The HL goes to the goal line and officiates back. He's still looking at his line play. That's what we're looking for. And then obviously he's got to shift and adjust and try and help on the long pass. Back judge, that's on you. Remember, we're talking man zone ball. And so from the snap, if we back up pre-snap back judges, strength is over here. So that's where your key obviously is. And so the H has a little bit of a challenge because he's got to watch this matchup here on his side because we do have what could be close to press coverage. I'm assuming he's on the line and these two on the bottom here off the line. So I think formation's good, but obviously the H has got to peek through this, but with the reverse goal line, you know, he'll leave it relatively quickly because there's no hands to the head type thing. He officiates back, turns, but at this point we've gone to zone and then to ball. And so the B's really going to have a lot more on their plate with this one. But what I want you to look at is just this was a really good job by this head linesman of doing the reverse goal line. The R is where he needs to be. The you could probably stay put, but that's a little thing. With the wings staying put a little bit, the wings can help with the ineligibles and that kind of a thing. So if we go one play further, I believe we're now on 3rd down, 3rd and the same. And if we let this go, excuse me just a minute, the top wing is punching, perfect. Bottom wing is set up, formation looks good. And the only thing I'll highlight here is we forget to reverse goal line and we have QB run in the end zone. So again, we just had the long pass. We're back and forth. Let's always get back into that pre-snap routine. What am I doing? I'm counting. I'm checking my formations, down and distance. Oh, I'm on the 4. I'm communicating with my wing across the way that we still have reverse goal line here. And I mean, it's a lot, but as you can see, that's something that, and you can see the shadow down here in the bottom too. We missed that one on this play. And with it being a QB run, super important that we get on the goal line because we could have a fumble. We could have a lot of things, and the wings are going to be really about the only officials that have, and we had a high snap. Action in the backfield. Wing, you got to have the best look at that if at all possible. So there we go. and then they square off. We've made the line to gain. Try not to work on the field. You can accomplish that because your chains are a little on the crooked side, but instead of bananaing this in, head linesman, just come up and square off. I still like your spot though, and we have the line to gain met. So now if we go to the next play, we're 1st and 10 and we're on the 12, it looks like. You're already going to know what I'm saying, and that is, Mr. Referee, you're kind of in a tough spot here. This is really no man's land because you're on the 12. It's not the full 15, but I would still posit that it's pretty darn hard for your wings to cover the goal line on reverse goal line from the 12. And so, referee, I would have you up on the goal line, and to keep your angle and your distance, maybe just get a little wider. I think if you're over here, you can still get your angle through to that opposite tackle that you need to have on your key. But this is another example. We know we have a center that likes to snap the ball high. Let's what can we do to make sure that we have the money line covered? So I would just say in this play, and we'll let it go. It's pretty quick. Obviously uneventful and whatnot. You got some action there, no question, and that might make you a little uncomfortable, but I would posit this is still an instance where we need someone on the goal line. And so referee, find an angle there. Get on the goal line and find an angle that works for you. All right. And then that's some more dead ball. And what you'll see, actually, let me clarify this real quick. You'll see real quick here in play 70 that we're on the 10. That play lost 2 yards. If we go to the next play we're going to look at, we're up 5 yards. We had a defensive encroachment. I'm not going to spend any time on that. Plus the film's not real good. Now here we go. You can see we're up on the 15 and the referee's right where he needs to be on the goal line. This is perfect. You know, obviously at 15, it's a little more comfortable and it looks good. Pretty inconsequential, incomplete pass. Referee looking at some action. Maybe you could stay put there. Oh, no, I take that back. That's action on your QB. Good job getting in there, talking to these guys. I'm good with the pass there. It looks like we slow it down here. Some of 50's fault is because he has 78 fall on him. So good to not throw on that. And good on the referee to get in there and do some of the after the pass officiating on this guy here. So no other issues on that play, obviously. But there's what we're talking about with just the back end of the reverse goal line. Now, however, if we go to the next play here, we're still on the 15. And I'm going to give you some of the dead ball here too, just so that you can see it. Nothing's changed except the down on the box. And now we're a yard and a half deep in the end zone. This is a head scratcher for me. So just remember, again, pre-snap routine, down and distance. What's likely going to happen? Is my count good? Checking off, if I'm the referee, that is. Down and distance. Is my count good? Clock status. What kind of situations do we have? And you should still remember the possibility of reverse goal line. And here we are standing a yard and a half deep in the end zone. And then I have to say, and I don't want to throw a lot of rocks, but the posture here, that's just how we stand, and our posture really conveys a lot about our credibility as a crew. And this is not an athletic stance. It's certainly not an approachable stance. Maybe it looks like we're tired. Just remember, when you set up to be in an athletic stance, to look the part. You know, this umpire, for example, he's standing straight up, rock solid. I mean, no complaints there, but just this is just not quite the look that we're after. So just be mindful of that kind of stuff, and obviously get up on the goal line because it still matters. And away we go. We have the little dump pass. Now we're out at the 30, and away we go. Now we're into the middle of this drive. So I share all this, refs, just because I think it's important for us to think about the progression of plays and making sure that we're situationally aware every time. See, there's a better square in too by the H. But let's make sure we're situationally aware of where we're at on the field, what our pre-snap routine looks like based on where we are on the field, that type of a thing. And it's something too that resets every single down. We hit a dead ball, we dead ball officiate, and then boom, we've got to be right back into the pre-snap routine. Clock status, count, down and distance, subs, numbering, on and on and on. Get into that repetition. And I would encourage you too, when we're all done and we're sitting at home watching a college football game on Saturday, watch that game and do your pre-snap routine the same way. Down and distance, count, on whatever you can grab. That is just gold to help our muscle memory in this space. So lots of good on this field, couple things to work on this field. But all this to say, that was what I was hoping you'd get out of this week. Work on that pre-snap routine this week, and let's just keep refining our craft. It's week 6. We're getting down to the wire, and we can be our best so that the players can be their best. Thanks a lot for your time today. Really appreciate it. This is Tyler Spear, your state coordinator of football officials. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.